Speaking of killing gimmicks, I got to get to this. Is the thing. Here comes Tony Schiavone's in the ring, and here comes Hangnail Page, and they're still letting this jabroni speak. And apparently, he won the Jobber Battle Royal that Tony had on All In or All Out or
in Chicago,
All Over, wherever it was.
Think about that. They had him win the Charity Battle Royal on the pre-show in Chicago. Think they're trying to send a message?
Well, and he gave the Chicago Education Fund the $50,000. I assume that's legitimate because they wouldn't say they gave it to charity, but obviously he didn't actually win it. Tony just gave it to charity, and he won the Battle Royal. But with Page, his hair bun thing on his head looks ridiculous. Why would you do that on purpose and come out looking like this slovenly character out on the alleyway beside a convenience store in a bad part of town with a cardboard sign that says, "We'll allow you to grope me for food"? I don't know. Just stop me. I'm painting a picture in my head of what this fucking guy looks like. Why is he on national TV like that?
I don't get anything with Adam Page, really, because there's been no character evolution since the days of the sad drunk. He's still like this sad, running away from things. Like, whatever this is. Swerve was the babyface in this to me. He was telling the truth.
Well, yeah, that's what I referenced earlier. If you're listening to the entire podcast in its entirety, and how else would you do something entirely, is he talks for a minute, and then here comes Swerve and Prince Nana, and of course they kick Tony Schiavone out of the ring like a flunky. Can you imagine somebody telling Jim Ross on 1999 Raw, "Yeah, hey, JR, take a hike. You're done."
Only Vince and Triple H.
Well, yes. And Swerve basically goes into a lot of detail and backstory about how Page was a big deal, but now he's on the pre-show. He's not selling merchandise. He's not in any big matches. And he's doing a good promo, but he's burying Nimrod there. Page is just standing there taking this, and it took a while. There was a lot of history gone over and a lot of detail. And Page is just staring at him. And when he told Page, "I'll walk you like a dog," he just staring at him. And and finally his response was, "If you want a match, go back there and talk to somebody, or with me, go back there and talk to somebody and get one." And he's starting to walk out. And I'm like, what the fuck you been... He's a real-life Ken doll now. He has had his genitals completely shaved to a flat surface verbally by this guy. And so, "Well, if you want a match, go get one," and walks away from him. And then their brilliant idea, to show his even temperament. You always want that in a redneck cowboy babyface. Then his Swerve goes too far. God damn it, you've gone too far now. He said something that wasn't particularly inflammatory, and nothing,
He mentioned his wife and kids. To me, that's inflammatory.
No,
if you're talking about things that would get a babyface going.
No, but yes, you would have. "Hey, I'll fuck your wife and adopt your kids." That might, but it was something innocuous. He just mentioned your wife and "Yeah, well, go back to your wife and kids." That's not even detrimental or something like, you see what I'm saying? It wasn't in the lexicon of wrestling insults through the years. This was not a goddamn barn burner that should have set this fucking guy's head on fire. But now, after he's listened to this 5-minute dissertation about how he needs to change everything in his life and adjust his fucking behavior 380 degrees to the opposite, just that, he goes, "Limp on back to your wife and kids." He turns around and storms into the ring, but he still doesn't punch the guy. He's yelling at him. And as he's yelling at him, Brian Cage, like a heel would do, comes from behind and just wallops him and hits him with a couple big moves, because he can't just beat a guy up. He has to pick him up and give him wrestling moves. But that was, as Swerve's laughing, that was a long segment, and My God, is Paige just dishwater? Help me. Help me.
There is no help. Swerve was good. You see, that's the thing. Swerve has something.
That was the swerve about it.
That Swerve was good?
Yeah.
Well, he's been, you know what? He's a guy that the booking kind of sucks, but he's good and people react to him, but then the booking kind of has to match that at some point. What do you think about him and Adam Page?
I try not to think about him and Adam Page. I don't want to see Adam Page. He is, you know, that he's one of these miserable panties in a bunch up around his little uterus, fucking whiny, complainy, meh. And
well, yeah.
There's nothing about him as a wrestling personality that he does the nice thing that he never misses that flip over the rope and landing on his feet. But otherwise than that, and boy, when he stands up there on the top rope and just blindly leaps off and flips backwards off into the fucking crowd, assuming that the motherfucker that was there 30 or 45 seconds ago is still right where he left him, that's wow. But he's wishy-washy on promos, and I don't believe he was the world champion. Nobody believed him. There. Imagine how much fucking territory that takes in.
All right.
What do you think about Paige?
I think the AEW hardcore, like, Young Bucks fan will love him. And anyone who watches this show just sees him as a weak babyface that's constantly in the top mix for some reason.
Because he got the right friends.
I know you don't like Omega at all, and I'm not saying you have to, but he's the only one out of all of them that's really a star in my eyes.
You think that's what's given him all those injuries that he's had fixed over the last year or two, is from carrying all these other fuckers on his back?
I think that's why they said they were going to negotiate with WWE, all four. Like, it had to be the whole group. Yeah, whatever Kenny does, we're going to do. Yeah, you have no choice. Everyone turns off the show every time you guys are on.
Hey, you know, they're still thinking back that one time, Larry, Moe, and Curly broke away from Ted Healy and their careers took off rather than the other way around. But that's because Ted Healy was an alcoholic. So if Kenny doesn't have any problems with any substances, then everything should be okay.
Also, the Stooges knew how to work.
That's true.